In the animal kingdom, gorillas often greet each other with a hug. Certain species of penguins propose to their partner with a pebble. Female lions do all the hunting for their family. Orcas live with their parents their whole lives. While every family is different and every family is unique, the truth is, they're still our fam.
Hi everyone, it's Sarah again. Welcome to Transit Online. Transit's our space for middle school students, and we hope to inspire and equip those students to develop a faith of their own. Now, 2 weeks ago, we started a series called FAM, and as the name suggests, it's all about family. And there's one thing that every family goes through: change. Change brings about so many different emotions. You could feel happy, sad, frustrated, scary, excited, you name it. But no matter what the change is, there's still something that remains unchanging. Let's go find out what that is.
Hey, what's up y'all? Stuart here. A couple things about me if I haven't met you yet. It's totally random, but I was a pole vaulter, and that's pretty random. And I'm left-handed. Shout out to anybody left-handed. You know there's only like 3% of the world that are left-handed? I totally made that up. I don't actually know what the percent is, but we're rare. We are rare, okay? So you're special if you're left-handed. And if you're right-handed too, but I'm just saying, I'm left-handed, we have that in common. Anyway, also, I am married, I have 3 kids, a 5-year-old boy, a 3-year-old girl, and a 1-year-old girl named Emmy. And I don't know what your fam looks like, but no matter what your family looks like or who they're made up of, all of us have a fam. And that's what we're talking about today. And each one of us will experience different things within our families. Some of those experiences may be awesome, some may be crazy, and some may be hilarious, and some may be really difficult. And so this week, we're gonna talk about the one thing that every family has in common. The one thing that each and every one of our families will experience in one way or another, and that is change. Now, if you're anything like me, your heart might start racing as soon as you hear the word change, because even if the change is good, I still don't like dealing with it at all. I just don't like change. I mean, no matter how you look at it, change can be difficult to deal with. Like, I remember when I was going into my 6th grade year, so I was entering into middle school. I'm the youngest of 4 kids. My mom and my dad sit us all down in the living room, and they didn't do that very often, so we knew something serious was going on. Some change was coming, and my dad says, hey, we need to let all of you know that I'm no longer gonna run my own business anymore. I am changing jobs. Which for you, that might not seem like that big of a deal, but on the other side of that was, hey, not only am I changing jobs, but I'm not gonna make as much money, and so we're not gonna have as much money in our family. And I don't know about you, but for me, as I went into middle school, I was super insecure about what I was wearing and the brands I was wearing and what shoes I had and the stuff that I had and what we had at my parents' house. And so when Dad sits us down and he told us that not only is he changing jobs, but we're gonna have less money, that was super hard for me to process, to navigate, to have to accept as okay. It was a change that I was not looking forward to. And really, change of any kind can be hard, right? I mean, in some ways though, change also is just a part of life. It's a constant thing. We know that our classes are gonna change next semester, or that the rules that our parents have for us, they're gonna change as we grow up and get older. At least, goodness, we sure hope that they'll let us go more than 20 yards from our house when we're 17 years old. Or that our favorite TV show is gonna change because Netflix is gonna come out with something new and it's gonna be awesome and we can't wait. And then the thing that used to be our favorite is not hot anymore, and then it's gone, and then we have a new favorite. Anyway, those kind of changes aren't so bad, right? We see them coming, and in a way we can expect those, but change in our family? The one thing that's supposed to be constant in our lives, the one thing that we're told we can count on, that kind of change is the worst. But the truth is, it's a change that all of us are gonna experience at some point in our lives, because in big and small ways, in good and in bad, our families change. Maybe you gained a new person in your family. Maybe it was a step sibling or a new baby. It's cute. Or a foster sibling. Or maybe one of your parents got remarried and suddenly had another adult in your life, a new parent. No matter who it was, that person in your home definitely changed things for your fam. Or maybe someone in your family got sick. Suddenly, life in your family became all about their health, their appointments, what they needed, and what you could do to help them. Your family was focused and worried about them, and even though you understood why, it was still a change that you had to figure out. Or maybe an older sibling left the house. They went off to college or got married or decided to move in with your mom while you stayed with your dad. And just like that, things in your family were different because they aren't a part of your everyday life anymore. Or maybe your family changed just because the circumstances changed. Maybe like me, your dad got a new job or you had to move into a new house or your mom started traveling more for work. And those things made you feel like so much about your family was changing. I know that's what it felt like for me. And maybe it was a change that was really painful, one that you still don't understand. Maybe your parents got divorced or your dad left or your mom lost custody or you got taken out of your home and away from your parents completely. Maybe you've been in and out of foster homes these past few years. Maybe one of your parents passed away unexpectedly and all of a sudden things weren't the same. Your family looks nothing like it used to and you know it never will again. And you didn't ask for that change. You do just about anything to have things go back to the way they were in your fam. So no matter what changes you're facing in your fam, my point is this: it's not easy. And it doesn't usually feel good. Like even if it's a good change, like your new house is cooler or your baby sister's awesome or your dad moved back into town, it still feels like change. You still have to deal with it. You still have to get used to it. And that's not always easy to do. So if change is an unavoidable part of life with our fam, what do we do? What do we do? What can we hold on to when everything around us suddenly feels different? How can we handle it when our family changes? The good news is that we have the Bible to give us some amazing support and advice on how to get through challenging or difficult changes. If you're experiencing change in your family right now or have experienced it in the past, then I want you to remember these important truths. Listen up. God is with you. God loves you. God is unchanging, and God will give you the strength you need to get through any changes you may face in your family. Now, does that make the change that you're going through easy? No. Does it make it enjoyable or something to look forward to? Not necessarily, but what I think it does is give us hope and comfort that God is with us. And that's one thing that I know will never, ever change. God knows the changes that we're experiencing. He knows the changes that you're experiencing. He knows how it impacts our families and how it makes us feel. And because of that, He gives us this promise to hold on to as we face change in our lives. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. Okay, so I know at first glance that might seem a little bit dramatic, the passing through rushing waters and rivers and walking through the flames and the fire. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd actually be terrified in those situations, and it makes it feel like I'm like living like a superhero or I belong in the Avengers or something. But while that may not actually be what's happening to us, when you and I experience hard times or struggles, sometimes it gives us a similar feeling, doesn't it? I think that's why the writer of this scripture used these examples, as extreme as they may seem, to explain one really important thing that you and I can hold on to, and that's that God is with us. Sometimes we feel like we're wading through the water when it comes to our families, like we're ankle deep in problems and challenging situations, and we're wondering, where is God in all of it? And then sometimes things get really tough. It feels like the water is rising around us and we have nowhere to go. And again, we wonder where God is in all of it, because we could really use His help. Like, is He looking down on us? Does He even see us? Does He care? The water's rising and we need somebody to give us a hand. Anybody, somebody. Then the waves start to crash over us. We're drowning in the changes we're going through in our family. We see no way out. We feel totally helpless and completely scared. scared. We need help, like now. Where's God? Here's the thing. God was with us all along. God was with you all along, even when you couldn't see it. No matter what we're going through in our families, no matter how bad it may feel, no matter how scary it seems, God is always, always with you. He's always with me. He never leaves. He's there offering comfort and support and love through it all. This scripture shows us that you don't have to do this alone. When your family changes, God is with you. This is His promise to us. And it's a promise that never changes. Even when the changes in your family feel as overwhelming as the things that this verse talks about, even when it feels like the river is going to drown you or the fire will overtake you, you can remember that God is with you. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that our situation will get miraculously better or that we'll instantly feel super courageous through our family changes. It doesn't mean that we'll suddenly be out of the water and have no problems at all. But it does mean that we don't have to face change, for better or for worse, alone. Let's look at another passage in the book of Isaiah to show you what I mean. Don't panic. I'm with you. There's no need to fear, for I'm your God. I'll give you strength. I'll help you. I'll hold you steady. Keep a firm grip on you. Because of God, we don't have to face change with fear. Sure, we may panic or be afraid or even feel overwhelmed by the change that we're facing, but in all that, God is with us. God is with you. And not just that, He'll give us the strength we need to get through it. He'll give us courage to go on. He will help us. He will comfort us. He will love us. And He keeps the ground steady for us when it starts to shake. He's with us and He holds us in His hands. His love, His comfort, and His strength, they will never, ever fail. That's something that we can count on because it's something that will never, ever change. And I don't know about you, but I find that really reassuring. When everything around us changes, we have access to a God that never changes and will never leave us. You don't have to feel alone. You don't have to be afraid, because when your family changes, God is with you. So here's the question. What can we do to respond better to the changes in our family? First, focus on what's good right now. Look for the good in your season right now. Like when my dad came and sat our family down and he told us that not only is he changing jobs, but we're gonna have less money as a family. And I started to feel the weight of my insecurities around that and worried what that would mean for me and my friendships and how that would look for me in middle school. What I didn't know, that job change would actually create an opportunity for me to spend a lot more time with my dad. Like during that time, during the middle school years when he changed jobs, I actually got to spend more time with my dad than I ever would have if he hadn't changed jobs. And looking back, I can see how God used that change to bring some good into my life. And I believe the same can be true for whatever change you're facing in your fam now. So start by trying to find the good. Maybe the new sibling in your family is bringing your family closer together, or maybe a move to a new city is a chance for your dad to start a new job that will actually help your family financially, or maybe having an older brother facing an illness is gonna help you appreciate him more in your life. Whatever change you're facing, try to find the good. Now, I recognize that for some of you, this may be hard to do, especially if the change that you're dealing with is really difficult. You might feel like it's just impossible to find even a tiny amount of good in your family situation, and that is completely understandable. In fact, I think it's normal to feel that way about a truly painful change. So maybe for you, the good is simply to know that God is with you. That might be enough for you right now. Start there. Ask God to help you remember that He is always with you. And then think about the rest of your family. A change in your fam doesn't just impact you, it impacts the rest of the people in your family too. Try to think about them. How do the other people in your family feel about this change? What are they experiencing or feeling because of it? And what's something that you might be able to do to encourage someone else in your family as you face this change? often an unexpected act of kindness or an encouraging note or spending time with them or even reminding them of the truth that God is with them can not only help them, but it can help you as you deal with the change together. Remember, when your family changes, God is with you. And God puts people in your life to help you through those changes too. That's why each of you have a group of people who love you and want to support you. It's a safe place for you to think about and talk through and get help when you're experiencing change in your family. Okay, now, as you head to group, I want you to think about this. What is one change I'm facing or have recently faced in my family? See ya.
Now, I don't know about you, but this pandemic has brought about a lot of change for so many families. Parents are losing jobs or getting pay cuts. Families are leaving Dubai because of the pandemic. There's also the change in the way that we do school and work. But amidst all these things, there's one thing that does not change, and it's that God is with us. And this week's bottom line is that when your family changes, God is with you. And I hope that you find comfort in that truth. That's all for this week, so I hope you enjoyed the talk. Why don't we continue the conversation in online small group? I hope to see you there. Join us again next week for the last part of FAM. Have a great weekend. Bye.